Okay, so I gotta be honest with you guys with this episode of Dragon Ball Super, this review. I'm gonna be brief with this one. I don't know how long I'll be, to be honest with you, just because this episode, kind of similar to last week's episode, except I'd argue on the plus side for this episode, was of the same vein as last week's episode in regards to, it definitely didn't give you that vibe of like, oh my gosh, this is hype, this is exciting, big moments, or anything like that with this episode of Dragon Ball Super. A lot of just seeing the people that, have lasted till now in Universe 7, going up against a lot of the opponents from Universe 3, and, just kind of seeing Universe 11 kicking back for the most part, not doing too much. And honestly, I mean, it's nice that we was getting moments like, again, seeing the androids throw down and, so on and so forth or whatever, but it was just kind of like, because these opponents really aren't that interesting. Honestly, a lot of them, they're the robot guys that they're kind of like Magetta's. If you remember Magetta from Universe 6, that he was like a robot, but that was still like a human organism, something like that. It seems to be the case with these Universe 3 warriors, and they're just not interesting or exciting. I mean, it's cool to see the fights, and it's cool to see the androids throwing down, and, Goku getting it in, and all that stuff, but honestly, aside from a couple of cool moments towards the end of the episode with like Goku and Vegeta, I believe it was Goku, Vegeta, and maybe even Gohan, I'm not sure. I think they all did like a triangle type of Kamehameha blast or whatever. Well, Vegeta wasn't doing Kamehameha. You know what I mean? Like them working together on a team up. This episode just didn't really stand out all that much. And again, similar to what I said with last week's episode, I think the problem with these type of episodes is we've had such a incline. We had an incline of just, a 109 and 110 were absolutely amazing, incredible, some of the best episodes. And yeah, okay, you're not going to be able to match that and keep going, but it was still on a consistent basis of quality. You would argue maybe the Kefla stuff did get a little ridiculous or whatever, but it just felt like it was intense, it was hype, it was the action that even if you hate the logic behind it, you can't help but adore. Like, this is what I got into Dragon Ball Z all these years ago watching, you know what I'm saying? Just dudes throwing down, or even some females throwing down now, which is a change in the times, which is awesome. I love cauliflower. I still say, I don't care. I know I get slaughtered out there. You motherfuckers be like, hit him! And y'all be with a tomato and shit throwing at me like, I don't care, bro. I still love me my cauliflower. I'm gonna speak up. Like, Dragon Ball Super has been on a good break, you know what I'm saying? It's been just going in. Last week's episode, Piccolo's defeat and everything like that. And then this week's episode, just fighting a bunch of robots, or seeming robots or whatever. It's like, it really wasn't cutting the mustard. That universe in general just isn't interesting. They're not like, oh, hey, they look like Magetta, wahoo! Like, no, now if it was the God of Destruction throwing down, then maybe I'd probably be like, hey, I want to see his powers, something like that, but his universe is just boring. His universe just really doesn't excite me, and the fights themselves weren't all that like, oh. And again, it makes me wonder, does Toei have this thing where like, if Goku isn't a major piece of the episode, they don't know how to craft an episode to be exciting and interesting? Or is it that all the really big and exciting and interesting moments that they think of, they immediately say, well, how can we get Goku involved in that? And that's why, I mean, don't get me wrong, again, Goku was a part of this week's episode throwing down with some of these bots, but it was just kind of like, maybe that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And especially when going back to the discussion, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but going back to the discussion of how we feel about these episodes, the latest couple, yeah, again, they're not stellar episodes at all. They're average at best, you know what I'm saying? But the reason we feel so strongly, and a lot of people are just saying straight trash, garbage, sucks, is because we had amazing episodes, you know what I'm saying? The episodes just before, when we got the erasure of Universe 6, seeing Universe 6 go out the window, it was sad, it was tragic, it was great, and it's just like, damn, we get corny episode 1, corny episode 2. Yeah, people are gonna, the extremists, they're gonna, oh no, throw DBS out the window, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna deal with it just because they don't want to, it's like, it's going downhill. So definitely, that's why the reaction is the way it is. I thought the latest episode, again, an average one, it was alright, nothing spectacular or anything like that. Cool moments. Again, the best moment I'd say was the Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. I think it was the three of them. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken, you know what I'm saying? But that was like the cooler moments towards the end, but that doesn't save an episode. That majority of the time I was just like, the action wasn't exciting, the villains wasn't exciting, the God of Destruction himself really isn't exciting, other than the fact of, again, hey, I've seen him throw down, maybe he has some cool robotic godly explosions, his Hakai is a digital chip, like, some crazy shit that they could do with the God, but like, it's like their universe doesn't, they're not even like villainous, like they're trying to, I don't know, poke your legs out or something. You know, they're not threatening it. The episode just as a whole, because of them, went downhill again. It's like, ugh. So that's my stance on the episode. I'm kind of curious though, what did you guys think about this episode? Best moment, were any of their opponents that, you know, went up against Goku and the crew, were any of them credible? Like, and again, I'm not really talking that much about the episode because half of it is so hard to remember because it was just forgettable. It was just really one of those forgettable episodes. I'm not completely trashing it. It's just having sex for the first time, and then by the fifth time, and you fucking like 5 in a row, that fifth one ain't gonna be as magical as that first time. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a similar situation, even though you're probably thinking, Funev, why you went there? Because I want to go there, baby girl. What's up? Nah, your real thoughts of the episode though. You're feeling towards this universe that is trying to be all lit and stuff. I mean, based on the preview, which I'll talk about that in another video, it seems as though it's going in a better direction. It seems as though it's gonna be improving itself somewhat. I do think that there's quite a few people that did like this episode. I'm not exactly sure personally. Again, I just gotta speak on my opinion. I just really wasn't that enthralled into it when you coming from godly fights like Goku versus Jiren, or even action-packed, explosive, exciting fights like Goku versus Kefla. You could argue it's not exciting, it's BS power-ups. I like seeing big explosions, motherfucker. You catch my drift? It's like, bro. And I guess if I want to throw one final question out to you guys, I gotta ask this one, right? If you look at this episode as a whole, right, and you just kind of say, well, by itself, what is it? Not comparing the prior episodes, like, you know, the string of greatness that we had, or for the most part greatness or epicness, whatever you want to call it. If we had this episode by itself, would we still be as harsh on it as a lot of us are, like, you know, just throwing fruit at it like it ain't shit? Like, do you think, I mean, the androids was pretty cool. Like, the androids was cool. Seeing some of the fights, them slugging it out, it was alright. The commentary, like, it was okay, honestly. I don't know. I just don't see it as bad as a lot of people are like, Although it wasn't amazing either, don't get me wrong. I'm not defending it in any regard, because this is those episodes when I rewatch this shit, if I want to, like, get to the good stuff, I would skip an episode like this one. So there's that as well. Just my full honesty on it. Not defending it, but I'm not going to crucify it neither when it's really not that deserving of. Bring it down. It's like, it still was an okay up. But that's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and do a little stalking on my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.